Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Good evening. Tonight in our series on food safety, the value of ozone. Mention ozone under normal circumstances, and most people will think of the ozone layer over the earth, which protects us from the sun's ultraviolet rays. Ozone, in this case, comes in a bottle, or pretty close to it, and it turns out to be a most effective killer of germs. Here's ABC's Ned Potter.
When the grapefruit is picked from the trees, it's sometimes filthy, stained with bacteria, mold, and pesticides. For decades, American packers have washed food in chlorine, but it doesn't clean away everything, and it does leave a chemical residue. So here's another idea. You know how fresh the air sometimes smells after a thunderstorm? That's partly because lightning cutting through the air turns oxygen molecules, or O2, into ozone, which chemists label O3.
In water, it's 3,000 times faster acting, killing virus, bacteria than chlorine is.
Charles Pearsall's firm makes ozone generators for food companies, such as Quality Packers in Vero Beach, Florida. They sell fruit, but ozone can be used to clean everything from vegetables to beef to chicken.
We're feeding these small chambers high voltage electricity and passing oxygen through those chambers, and the electricity is breaking the oxygen into ozone.
That ozone gas is pumped into the packing plant's water, which is sprayed under pressure on the grapefruit. Ozone cleans all sorts of chemicals off food. It kills E. coli, salmonella, and other organisms. And there's a bonus because the water is now recyclable. After the wash, it's pumped back to the ozone generator to repeat the process. The result is plainly visible. This is a jar of water that's been used to clean off the fruit. 15 minutes later, after it's been filtered and treated with ozone, it looks like this, ready to be used again. The government approved ozone for food just this summer, but it's not new. In Japan and Europe, it's been used for decades. The water supply for Los Angeles is cleaned with ozone, as is most bottled water. But for food in the United States, ozone got little notice until the recent episodes of contamination.
I think it's one of the nicest opportunities that's come along for the food industry and for consumers in a long, long time.
Ozone cleaning is no more expensive than chlorine, and it leaves no chemicals behind. Ozone quickly turns back into regular oxygen. As the technology spreads, it can mean a safer food supply for a worried public. Ned Potter, ABC News Bureau.
Hi, I'm Dr. Tom Kolpitz with the Wellness Center in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I want to talk to you about ozone. Ozone is the substance that you smell after a lightning strike. It's actually O3, breaks down into O2, which is oxygen. The body even produces minute amounts of O3 at a cell level. So how do we use it? We use it to clean our water supply system that goes to the dental chair, to make sure that tubing doesn't get yeast or bacteria in it. We use it to help to sterilize a tooth before you put a crown on it. We use it for surgery. It's a wonderful, wonderful agent. As far as I know, there are very few other people doing it in this part of the country. It is being taught in dental schools. It's common in Europe, being taught on the East Coast, West Coast. You have to understand the dosage and the concentration, but if you do that, it is very beneficial, and we're very proud to have that as part of our package of health and wellness for you and your friends. So if you want more information, look at the website, go to our Facebook, and we hope to see you soon. Thanks.
This is a quick demonstration on how we can use ozone to eliminate color in water. The test setup has an aquarium filled with water and blue food coloring, and when we apply ozone, you can see the water, which is moving from right to left, turn to clear. When the ozone is removed, the color returns. The ozone is being injected through a mazy-style venturi. The induction pulls the ozone in using the Bernoulli principle. The ozone is distributed as billions of little bubbles, and it gets mixed with the water, and it immediately removes the color from the water.
Cancer. What's the big news there? Up to now, oncologists
have worked hard to come up with different types of drugs that kill cancer cells. They poison them. They work in a way that's very, very similar to our use of antibiotics. Antibiotics are drugs, molecules that selectively affect something special, unique about the bacteria, its metabolism, and poisons it. Unfortunately, as we've learned in the last decade, bacteria have learned to mutate, to change, and to become resistant to many antibiotics. Unfortunately, this is also the experience of oncologists. The drugs up to now, which have been developed to poison various aspects of the genetic material of viruses, seem to work for a period of time. And then the viruses themselves, which are out there in the trillions probably or more so, learn to mutate, change, and become resistant. And unfortunately, it's the common experience of cancer patients that many of the drugs that are helpful to them suddenly lose their effectiveness and the patient loses their advantage. So what's the really big news? Medical science recently has learned the uncomfortable discovery that our immune system, which we always thought was our friend and our protector, may not be so. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of research going back actually many years showing the cases where the immune system was actually helping cancer cells. It's important to recognize this because the new research is now aimed at keeping our immune system on our side, not letting it being taken over by the enemy. And this is where ozone really fits in, because cancer patients basically die from 3 different causes. They can die from the direct invasion of cancer cells themselves, which kills about 1/3 of the patients. 1/3 of cancer patients die from infections due to the suppression of their immune system and all of the suppression due to radiation and similar type of things. And 1/3 of cancer patients literally die from starvation or malnutrition because their systems shut down and emotionally they do give up. Ozone plays a very unique role, as I mentioned in the prior video, because it helps to fight infection, even in the immune suppressed patient. This is a very, very important and unique role that ozone can play. And the important thing is that ozone, being its own special entity, can be used along with or by its own, along with any other chemotherapy agents or other types of treatment, radiation, and so forth. It's an important add-on. It gives the patients an extra advantage in terms of defeating their cancer. This is something that has been around for a while. It's something I've used extensively in my office. And I invite you to give me a call at my office if you have any further questions about the use of ozone, either in chronic infections, cancer, or other related conditions.